Changes are coming here, and here, and here. Hey guys, how you doing? Art from Art's Model Trains. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while or seen me on the Three Rails, Four Dads show, um, I've been talking about some changes that are coming to the layout this year, and it's finally time to get started. So I've decided to take this layout and upgrade it to 054 track. I am limited in space in this basement. I basically take up one wall of the basement, but the basement is actually not very big in our house. Unfortunately, we have a crawl space that takes up half of what should be basement. So it sort of limits my space. So I've been looking over options of what I could do. And after working on the Gargraves upper loop last year, I realized I had some more options when it comes to types of track. I had based my layout mostly on Lionel Fast Track, but now that I had used the Gargraves track and realized how easy it was to work with, cut, and put into place, I've decided to use 054 Gargraves with Gargrave switches and a Ross switch to build an 054 loop and replace my 040 loop with that. So it only adds about 4 or 5 inches to the table, which is great because I am, as I said, limited in how far I can come out. I need to be able to give enough clearance to get by because I do have a storage room that I go to around the corner over here. And that has, obviously all the furnace and everything in there too. So I have to leave at least enough rooms that if anything needs to be replaced, it can get through this area. So let me get you guys off the stand and talk a little bit about what we're trying to do. We're going to start down here. This is actually the easiest of the changes. So I did this yard last summer and I used 060 fast track switches, converted to tube track to go into the engine shed, but have fast track on this outside spur here. This all stays the same. The only change that's going to happen is that in this outside spur here, I'm going to install a fast track LCS sensor track, just so that I can program in my engines once I get the base 3. Other than that, the plan is to, in this switch in the corner, right by the switch tower here, change this out for an 054 Gargraves track with a transition track into the fast track 060 switch. And then all of this 048 will get replaced on this outer loop here with 054. And I just need to bring the table out, as I said, just a few inches to make that work. What will happen is down here, this little S curve that I have in the layout will go away and it will remain a straight line oval all the way through. So down on this end of the layout, let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen. So as the 054 comes around the far side here and gets to about this point, I'm going to have another Gargraves 054 switch. It can either continue the 054 loop this way or come straight towards me right through that switch tower there. And once again, I have to build all this table out. And I'll go over where that's going in a minute. And then here, where the 054 track comes down, the Gargraves track comes down, I have a 054 Ross Y switch that I bought, which will continue obviously the 054 loop through here and branch off in this direction. So I'll put a picture together so you guys could see this, but the idea is to take this space that used to have a treadmill in it, and I got permission to move that treadmill into the storage space, and use the Gargraves 054 switch and the Ross 054Y to come off and create another loop of track out over here with a mountain scene and everything into the corner here, and hopefully another couple of spurs to run to some storage tracks in the corner back here. The plan right now for this corner is to use Gargraves Flex Track. I know I can get an 048 loop in here in this space, so Gargraves only comes in 042 and 054. The plan is to use the Flex Track to try to mimic as close as I can to 048 curves, sweeping off of here into a loop in the corner and coming back and joining in so that I can run anything that can do 048 in a longer run all the way around, which is most of my equipment. And then some of the new stuff that I'm getting, like the Polar Express or the Hiawatha, which are questionable whether or not they can run on 048 versus 054. I can just contain them on the 054 loop if needed. So here I have all the track and the components laid out. I ordered most of the track through Just Trains in Delaware. You can order through their website, and then Gargraves will drop ship it directly to your house. But I was able to find some of the items, some of the switches, cheaper on trains.com. So I did purchase those from there. And the cork roadbed, I actually found trains.com as well, had the best deal. You could order 12, 24 strips at a time, whereas some other places were requiring you to buy 2 or 3 boxes at a time, which was way more than I needed, and obviously a much more economical way to just buy it in the number of strips I needed. I also have the transition track from Lionel, and a couple of LCS components, one of which is the IR sensor track, and one of which is the LCS components to trigger the switches. All the switches will have DC 1000 switch motors on them. So yeah, guys, really excited about this. Actually, between the two sections over here, I'm planning on doing a lift bridge. Nothing automated, hopefully just a section that I can lift out so that I can still get into the corner. There is a closet in the corner that I keep a lot of stuff in, as well as all the storage shelves I have at the end over there. I do plan on putting storage shelving underneath everything I expand on this side when I build that extension out towards the storage room. It's going to be a lot of work. The first thing I'm going to tackle is just doing this 048 to 054. I bought the switches to extend over to the new section I'm going to build, but I'm going to save that for later this year when I have some extra time, maybe even in winter of next year. Also need to save up a little bit of money. Buying, as you know, buying a bunch of track and switches is quite expensive. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.